We are now starting to learn more about the man accused of vandalizing the home in Ohio of Vice President Vance. The Secret Service detained the suspect early Monday morning after he allegedly damaged the house, including by smashing out the house's windows with a hammer. Here to discuss what we know about the suspect is The Hill's Deputy Managing Editor, Sarakshi Rai. Hey, Sarakshi, so what do we know so far about the suspect and where he's from?
Well, Drew, the suspect has been identified as William DeFoor, who is 26 years old. Now, he was arrested outside the home in Cincinnati, which is one of Vance's personal residences, shortly after midnight. We also know from officials who said that he was armed with a hammer and tried to break the window of a federal law enforcement vehicle that was blocking the driveway to the vice president's home, and he had refused law enforcement officers' command to drop his weapon. Now, they've also said the damage to the home included broken windows as well, so that's what we're hearing, at least initially, Drew, of the suspect.
And what are the charges that DeFoor is facing in the wake of all of this?
So he was charged with damaging government property, engaging in physical violence against a person or property in a restricted building or grounds, and assaulting, resisting, or impeding federal officers. Now, prosecutors have also said that his arraignment is scheduled for Tuesday. Now, it's key to note that the residence was unoccupied at the time of the incident, and the vice president and his family were not in Ohio. And this is coming directly from the Secret Service, who released a statement shortly after his arrest. Now, interestingly, Drew, the vice president's home is in the East Walnut Hills neighborhood, a community with $1 million homes along the Ohio River, which is just sort of northeast of downtown, where in the state. So it's a very high net worth, high value neighborhood, and so the police are looking into more about what the motives were right now.
Well, do we know anything about a possible motive and whether he was specifically targeting the vice president and his family?
So no injuries were reported, and it is still unclear whether or not there was any motive. But according to the police report, DeFoor has been diagnosed as a schizophrenic, and this is according to the arrest report. He was charged with criminal trespassing and failure to disclose personal information in late 2023, and he was also arrested on vandalism charges in 2024. So this is a new charge on top of all of those previous charges as well, Drew.
And we're coming off of back-to-back years of serious political violence across the country. Are there concerns on Capitol Hill that there could be more of this to come in 2026?
That's right, Drew. This arrest comes less than 2 months after a man in Michigan was sentenced to 2 years in prison for posting threats on social media to kill the vice president and President Trump. Now, this attack also comes amid a rise in concerns around political violence. We've seen, the assassination of Charlie Kirk last year and the April assassination attempt on Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro of Massachusetts through arson. We also saw the fatal shooting of former Minnesota State Rep Melissa Hortman at her home in June. So, all of that has kind of amplified concerns from at least lawmakers here in Washington, D.C. that, there is some concern of political violence, and they are looking more into security measures and what else can be done to safeguard their homes and their families, Drew.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Sarakshi Rai, thanks so much.